Hey guys, this is Pedro back with another interview, this time covering VCT Pacific Stage 2 for playoffs. My guest at this time is FrosT of Talon Esports, this time coming off of their match against Nongshim RedForce, in which they came out victorious 2-1 to move on to the next round of the upper bracket. And so, FrosT, thank you so much for the time. Another interview, another W, another interview after a W, so definitely good on that. First and foremost, I want to ask you just sort of how you're feeling, with the team's continuation of their good form making the playoffs and then taking down a team like Nongshim in the first round of the playoffs.
I'm happy with their progress. I think Thai, Kilo, and Primi are playing very well for rookies. This is another year with 3 rookies. I'm happy with how much they've evolved from season 1. Look, if we don't have tail merchants stealing points early in the year because for some reason we decided to let Vice and Tejo, be played at the same time for the first time on VCT, and Tejo just happened to be the best character in the game, I think we're sitting pretty for champs, right? But we're in a situation where we need to actually place top 2. The thing is, this team is capable of doing it. So it's just a matter of situationally, are we going to make big blunders like we did today on Corrode? We probably should have won 13-7. But 2v1, make a mistake. Good teams have a really big habit in this game of punishing you for making these mistakes, and the next thing you know, we're in overtime. So I think lessons like that probably are what needs to be, I think, avoided. But for the most part, I think talent-wise, bro, we are good enough to do whatever we want. It's just a matter of can we.
Yeah, like you definitely described it right then and there. This team is loaded with talent, and you guys have been and trying to refine it to the point where you guys can actually be very dangerous in the server. And in a lot of ways, the first steps, some steps have been taken to making or reaching that level. And um obviously, this is like the fourth time you guys faced off against a team like Nongshim, and third time in playoffs. If I
Yeah,
had a
yeah.
nickel to talk about, well, you know the saying,
You're
it'd be
right.
weird if it's weird that we got 3 nickels, but such
It's
is
hard to
life.
beat a
Beat a
team
team
this many
this many
times in a
times in a
row.
row.
Trust.
Yes.
It's hard, especially since they beat Gen G. Everybody was like, wow. And the way they beat Gen G. And by the way, I thought Gen G, especially last year, but also early this year, I felt they were the best Lotus team in the world, Pedro. And they just got destroyed by Nongshim. And Nongshim picks it against us, which they know we're good at because we destroyed T1. So that shows you how confident they were coming into the matchup.
Yeah, and of course, and even so, despite everything that happened today, you guys were able to come out of it on top. And given what you said about how the team has been shaping up this season, how does this match compare to the previous matches that you've had so far this year in playoffs? Is it fair to say this is the hardest yet?
No, 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 no. Not even close. Actually, though, the truth is, it's just Cruz. Cruz is just. I've been saying this probably week to week for a while, but I think people are beginning to understand, especially PRX, because I believe they not only gave him props. I'm pretty sure Alex basically said that Cruz might be one of the best IGLs that they played against, and I obviously agree with him. But I think that Cruz is just so much better at IGLing, not just IGLing in the game, but also understanding this team. Because even the Corrode map pick wasn't even my call. He went against my wishes. He said it is the best thing to do for them, and he gave me all the reasons why. Obviously, I listened to him, and he was right because I felt like we should have 13-7, right? If we don't have a couple bad mishaps and blunders, but he just knows. He's at a state where he's barking orders out to us and we're listening to him. So I think when you have that level of leadership, it goes a long way, especially in this game. And his situational awareness. I mean, you watched the game, you saw, what was it, 11-12 or 10-12, and he gets a 4K with an Odin. He doesn't see a single person. He just knows exactly where they are, where they should be. He knows macro-wise what position he's in, whether he's safe or not. Can he get away with this? And he does it. He kills 4. And he doesn't see a single body. It's just kind of funny. So
It kind of feels like once he's in the zone, just everybody get out of the way. Just let him cook. Basically, that's basically what this series was about, right?
100%. Yep.
Yeah, and with that said, now
Mm-hmm.
you guys move on towards this match against
100p.
yeah, and quick check, you can hear me, right?
DRX.
Yes. So, what are your thoughts on
Yes.
on
Yes.
on the
Yes.
match against DRX, and next round against playoffs? This would go into top three, and continuing the run to champions.
Yep. In my opinion, it's a good matchup. I think it was a good matchup last time we played them. We just had a really bad game, didn't shoot well, and still made it close. I mean, we got destroyed in icebox, but I felt like if you look at the macro of that game, we definitely had very good positions, and we were exactly where we wanted. We just couldn't shoot, and Human had a day, and took care of us, and all that stuff. But now I got Pi on dual list, and I think that is going to present a myriad of problems for them. I have Primi on flex now, so it's like their roles are completely reversed. They do have flashback. The addition of flashback is going to be very good for them. I think talent-wise, he's a really good player. So I think they are also better, but I think we match up well. I'm obviously extremely confident going into that match. So I think we should be fine. If we make some of the mistakes we made today on Corrode, even Lotus, actually, I think it could be messy like it was last time. But I think if we play well and we're shooting well, I think it'll be just like the last few games that we were in. I mean, I thought we could have won the PRX game also, right? With the way that we played. That is just the best team in the world. And, losing 11-13 and then overtime. But if we play like that against DRX, we'll be fine.
I want to ask you about with the evolution of this team so far in stage two, because obviously, in the prior conversation was at the beginning of stage two, and obviously at that point, you guys were beginning to fit into your role changes and so forth. It's fair. Since then, it's fair to say that you guys have been able to make it work. And with that said, though, I want to take it to another direction in asking for the comparison between how the team has been going in stage two this year to last year, because it's kind of the same story in which you guys finally found that momentum to play well and qualify for Champ Soul. So how do you kind of look back on that, and how do you compare that to what this team is doing right now?
So I'll be completely honest with you. I wasn't sold last year on Pacific. I thought Pacific was kind of weak, and I kept saying it to people. I thought, obviously, Gen G, to me, I think that Gen G roster was probably the best team in Valorant ever. I think the reason why people won't say that is because they bombed out of champs, but they also had the hardest group ever. But outside of that, I really thought the rest of Pacific was really up and down and just not very consistent. The last team got away with just being smarter than everybody else. That's why we could week to week change comps and do all this stuff. If you notice, we haven't changed comps basically all year. And it's not my play style. I would much rather just abuse, the map veto. Like I said, Corrode, not the map I wanted to pick. Cruz said he wanted to pick it. I am much more comfortable keeping you off balance with the veto, picking different agents, countering your comp that I know you're coming in with, rather than just running the same stuff we've been running for the last month. But with this team, it's different because we have such crazy firepower. I think the easiest way to explain it would be the biggest difference between last year and this year has everything to do with our philosophy. Last year, we wanted to be smarter than you. I didn't need to shoot better than you. I just needed to play Valorant better than you. This year, we need to simplify things so that our shooting isn't affected. Because I have, like I said, Kilowith, Primi. We have crews who can think for everyone if he needs to. But I think simplifying game plans has been so much the mantra of this team. Whereas last year it was convoluted and difficult and, comps with like 30-page documents, you know what I mean? Like, so totally different philosophical way to deal with Valorant. But also firepower wise, I think, and I'm being honest, firepower wise, I think we're probably top 4 in the world. Like in Pacific, I can only think of one team with more firepower than us. And I think if you ask all these teams, they would say the same thing. I think PRX is probably the only people that have equal or more firepower. I don't think anyone else in Pacific can beat us with that. In that area of the game, there are other areas of the game that are equally as important, of course, and that's not where we're up to snuff. But when it comes to aim, raw aim, I'm pretty sure we got it here.
Yeah, as the saying goes, you get shot, you die, and and sometimes that's the more important thing. And so, Frost,
Yep.
we really do appreciate the conversation as always. Another interview, really do appreciate that as well. Also, and of course, best of luck also to the rest of the team for next round and then everything after that.
Anytime, brother.
Thank
Thank you
very
so
much.
much. Yep. Let's hope we get some W's.